I am Sanjay Bhagwan Mansukhani from ChangeDestiny.in. I am a teacher of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and today we are starting a series of talks on Sankhya Darshan by Kapila Muni. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are actually based on Sankhya Darshan. Sankhya is the theory on which the practice of yoga is based. Sankhya is called the Gyan Marg and yoga is called the Karma Marg. So there are two different routes of reaching the same goal. And the goal here is to achieve liberation from all kinds of sorrow. So let us today look at what are these sorrows and why is it there in all the human beings, and why removal of sorrow is one of the primary goals of major religions across the world for a long time. So dear friends, Sankhya Darshan, which has been given to us by Kapila Muni, is the first philosophy from the land of India. And this philosophy, while presenting, Kapila Muni says in the initial few, I would say, sutras, though Kapila's work is not available with us now, but after a few thousand years, a person by the name of Ishvara Krishna was able to move to various gurukuls and mutts around the country and collect what all he could collect about the Kapila Sutras on Sankhya Darshan. And this he had compiled and he called it the Sankhya Karikas. Now these Sankhya Karikas, dear friends, also got lost, and the Sankhya Karikas which we have today with us in India is actually a translation from the Chinese version of Sankhya Karikas. So here in these Karikas, the first issue which is tackled is sorrow, and here Kapila Muni says that his entire purpose of writing the Sankhya Darshan is to inquire into the cause of sorrow and to find a permanent remedy for sorrow. He goes on to say that the Vedas, which have certain prescriptions for various kinds of sorrow, various kinds of problems which human beings face, is not a foolproof method, is not a method which works 100% in 100% of the cases. So there is need for finding out a method, a sure short method by which sorrow can be removed and removed permanently. So in order to inquire for these causes of sorrow, Kapila Muni says there are essentially three kinds of sorrow. So the first kind of sorrow which he mentions is the sorrow which comes from outside, from other people, other animals, other insects and other beings. So this is one kind of sorrow which we human beings express because of the actions of others, other living beings outside us. The second cause of sorrow is also a sorrow which comes from outside, but this sorrow again is not from people outside, from other beings outside. This sorrow is from supernatural forces outside. So these sorrows could be like Pitra dosh, Graha dosh, some sort of curses from the gods, some demonic effects from past lives. So these kind of sorrows are also sorrows which come from the outside world, but we human beings have no control over these sorrows. These sorrows are beyond us and we can do nothing about them. The third sorrow is internal. This sorrow is coming from within us, and this sorrow is from the internal mind. And here it could be something like anxiety, it could be depression, it could be stress, it could be tension, it could be fear. So these sorrows are internal, and the origin, the source also is internal. Now, having classified the various kinds of sorrow which we have in our life, he goes about to search for the solution to these three kinds of sorrows. And he says, if one is able to find the common cause, a common cause for all these sorrows, then we will find the solution for sorrow lies there. And this solution, once applied, will bring permanent happiness, permanent ananda to that individual, to the group of individuals who are practicing this particular method. So here, Sankhya Darshan is essentially a philosophy, is essentially a study, is essentially an inquiry into human sorrow and its solution, permanent solution for everybody. You may be from any nationality, you may be from any class, you may belong to any religion, you may belong to any sex, any age group. But if you practice this, if you understand this philosophy, then you will find that you are exposed to minimum amount of sorrow, and this sorrow may also completely disappear from human life. So this inquiry is what Sankhya is all about, and it is this inquiry where Kapila Muni presents his theory of evolution. He explains to us how this cosmos, how this universe has come into existence. He explains to us the various tattvas, the various principles which help in creating our universe, in creating our cosmos, in creating our personal world. So this evolution theory is completely different from the evolution theory of the West, and this theory is extremely powerful. This theory, if you understand, you will be able to move in the direction of eliminating sorrow completely from your life. And as you are moving in the direction of eliminating sorrow completely from your life, you will find your life is getting filled up with more happiness, with more power, with more knowledge, with more health, and with wonders will keep on happening. So this is a beautiful journey of Sankhya. And in Sankhya, he also explains the theory of causation. So it is essentially a theory of cause and effect. And once understood the theory of cause and effect, then one can achieve anything one likes in one's life. No goal, no desire can remain unattained if one understands and implements the methodology explained in the law of causation by Kapila Muni to derive and get whatever one wants. In this Sankhya Darshan, he also explains the theory of the Trigunas, the theory on which our nature, our Prakriti is based. And this theory of Triguna as it is called, the three qualities of nature, has been used in many philosophies from our land. So Kapila Muni has been a trendsetter. Kapila Muni has shown the way to Indian philosophy, and his role can never be forgotten. Apart from that, he has also given the theory of transmigration. Transmigration is a theory of birth, death and rebirth, and how this cycle of birth and rebirth can be broken, can be put to a stop, so that one can come out of this cycle and become free, become independent, and need not die again in human life. This also has been explained in a beautiful way by Kapila Muni. So Kapila Muni has at a very deep level worked upon the causes of sorrow. He has given theories, he has given laws by which if one understands, then all these three causes of sorrow can be removed from human life permanently. And he is the first person to have propounded the concept of Purusha and Prakriti as two realities, two permanent realities in our existence. And then most of the philosophies from our land has used this duality of Purusha and Prakriti and put it to explaining their own philosophies in an easy to understand way for the people from this land. Now, if we come to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Patanjali's work is an expansion of what Sankhya has done, what Kapila Muni has done in Sankhya Darshan. So coming specifically to these three causes of sorrow, you see, when Patanjali is talking about the sadhana, about the method by which yoga can be done. So yoga essentially is to still the fluctuations in the mind, and it is sorrow which causes deep fluctuations in the mind. So when he begins his sadhana chapter, the second chapter of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Patanjali talks of Kriya Yoga. Patanjali says any person who begins the path of yoga must start with Kriya Yoga. And Kriya Yoga has essentially three components. The first component of Kriya Yoga is Tapa. Tapa is connected to Tapasya. The second component of Kriya Yoga is Swa Adhyay. And the third component of Kriya Yoga is connected to Ishvara Pranidhana. Now I will explain to you how these three components of Kriya Yoga are connected to the three causes of sorrow which were mentioned by Kapila Muni at the beginning of Sankhya Darshan. So let us look at these three components of Kriya Yoga. The first is Tapa. So when you practice Tapa, when you practice Tapasya, it is a method by which you discipline the body, the senses and the mind. So any sorrow, any worry, any stress, any tension which is coming from the world outside has to enter through the body. So it can enter through the body through the senses, because senses are the instruments of perception of what is happening outside. And in Sanskrit they are called the Jnana Indriyas. They are the senses of knowledge. So anything happening outside has to enter our world through our body, through our senses, and they first make an entry and contact with the mind. So if I am able to regulate and control and empower my senses, If I am able to regulate and control and empower my mind, then I will be able to control the inflow of sorrowful knowledge from the world outside into my mind, into my inner region of the mind. So, once when you practice tapasya, say tapasya can be fasting, tapasya can be not speaking for certain days, tapasya can be avoiding certain kinds of food, tapasya can be standing on one foot for 3 hours a day. So anything, any activity which you are putting on the body, any activity which you are putting on the senses, any activity which you are putting on the mind to discipline it, to bring it into a particular way of operation, a particular way of behavior, then that is tapasya. Tapasya is essential to give power to the body, power to the senses, and power to the mind, so as to prevent sorrowful information from outside to come inside our mind and disturb the mind and bring that sorrow inside us. So the first method which he has suggested is tapasya. The second method which Patanjali has suggested, I would say based on Sankhya Darshan to handle sorrow, is Swa-Adhyay. Swa-Adhyay is Swa is self, Adhyay is study. So Swa-Adhyay essentially means study about the self. So once when you start studying about who you are, what you want in life, what is your purpose of life, and similar questions, when you start reading the scriptures to get more knowledge about the soul, about the Atma, about the Purusha, and how to realize the Atma, the Purusha, then that gives you more and more knowledge. So this knowledge removes your ignorance about who you are. And as the ignorance reduces, you will find the amount of sorrow which would be coming into your mind and generating feelings of unhappiness and pain will reduce, will diminish, and will eventually stop. Another technique in Swadhyaya is to chant the mantra of Om or to chant certain mantras. When you chant certain mantras and you chant the mantra of Om, you are empowering yourself with the power of those mantras. You also increase your level of consciousness. The power of your spirit grows. So when you grow in spiritual power, you will find that pain from the physical world outside and pain from the mental world inside, they start diminishing, they start reducing, and they have virtually no impact on you now. Okay, the third method which has been suggested by Patanjali in Kriya Yoga is called Ishvara Pranidhana. Pranidhana means commitment to Ishvara. Pranidhana means devotion to Ishvara. Pranidhana means surrender to Ishvara, samarpana to Ishvara, going into the Sharanagati of Ishvara. So once when you do this, then you are putting your complete attention on Ishvara. The mind is becoming concentrated and one-pointed on Ishvara. As mind becomes concentrated and one-pointed on Ishvara, then the power of Ishvara grows within you. The power of infiniteness grows within you. And this power of infiniteness opens up unsurpassable knowledge for you, and this unsurpassable knowledge flows into you as if it is flowing from your Guru to you as a disciple. Because Patanjali says Ishvara is to be considered as an Adi Guru, as an ancient Guru who has always given true and correct knowledge to all your ancients and also to you. So that is the major point here, which we need to understand. So by doing Ishvara Pranidhana, number one, our mind becomes one pointed. Number two, because we are thinking about Ishvara, the omnipotent, omnipresent Ishvara, we develop those kind of powers in us. And number three, because we develop those kind of powers in us, and Ishvara we know controls Prakriti, Ishvara we know controls the Purusha, the soul. So any sorrow as we had seen initially, which is coming from outside, which is coming because of supernatural reasons, could be because of Graha dosh, could be Pitra dosh, could be certain curses from the Devtas, could be certain past demonic associations. So whatever be those sources of sorrow which are not in our control, which are beyond human control, how do we regulate them? How do we control them? How do we subdue them? How do we put them to rest? So Patanjali says, by Ishvara Pranidhana, if you make Ishvara your own, if you surrender to Ishvara, if you empower Ishvara through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your love, through your surrender, then you receive tremendous knowledge by which you can surmount all kinds of sorrow, be they supernatural sorrows also. So, this is one primary aspect here of the sadhana chapter of Patanjali, where in the first sutra itself he attacks the three sorrows, because Kapila Muni also starts his Sankhya Darshan by talking about these three sorrows, and by talking about an inquiry into these three sorrows and how he intends to find a solution to remove these three sorrows. Now Patanjali goes a bit further. Patanjali says, once when a common man, when somebody who is not exposed to yoga starts these practices, then in these three practices there is no need of concentration, because one is tapasya, where you are working on the body and mind by disciplining them. Second is swadhyaya, where you are studying the scriptures and chanting the mantras to clean the mind, to purify the internal organs of the mind. And number three, once when you are practicing Ishvara Pranidhana, then you are automatically empowering yourself with infinite power of the Ishvara. You get Ishvara on your side, and then he starts controlling Prakriti and Purusha to give you a world which you desire. But he goes further than this. He says, by doing this, you are able to weaken, to remove the power of the obstacles to yoga. So he talks about the kleshas. Kleshas are the 5 obstacles to yoga which prevent our journey towards moksha, which prevent our journey towards purification of the mind. Yoga essentially is a method to purify the mind, to still the mind, to empty the mind of all that is unwanted. So if you remember the definition of yoga as given by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras, he says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So yoga is when the vrittis, the thoughts coming in the mind, are put to rest. Now, why do the thoughts come in the mind? The thoughts come into the mind because of the kleshas. These kleshas, as they are there, they trigger a person to have thoughts. But if the kleshas weaken up, if the kleshas go away, then the number of thoughts which you will have will also diminish, will also go away. And all sorrow is connected to all forms of pleasure also. Because if there is sorrow, then there would be an experience after some time which will be called pleasurable. And pleasure by itself will eventually lead to a sorrowful experience. So thoughts are the source of sorrow, and thoughts come because of kleshas, and kleshas can be weakened only by performing Kriya Yoga. And Kriya Yoga is a method to tackle and reduce the power of the three sorrows which are impacting a human mind. And these three sorrows, as per Sankhya Darshan, are happening in all human beings at all points of time, and they are happening because of three reasons. Number one, sorrow which is coming from outside through other beings, be they human or be they other creatures like animals, insects, etc. The other sorrow which comes from outside but could be because of certain supernatural reasons, reasons which are beyond the capacity of a normal human being to handle and counter. And the third sorrow could be internal. It could be because of something which is happening inside your mind, which is creating pain, which is creating stress, which is creating depression, anxiety within your mind. So all these three sorrows have to be tackled, have to be removed. What Sankhya Darshan suggests as a method, he says the moment we become aware that we are a soul and not a body and mind combination, once this realization comes in, once this soul realization comes in, then all sorrow disappears. Because the cause of all sorrow is the mind. All sorrow lands up in the mind and creates the problem there. So if you believe you are the mind and body combination, then sorrow becomes active in the mind. But if you believe you are not the body and mind, you are beyond the body and mind, you are the soul, then sorrow becomes defunct, sorrow becomes weak, and eventually if you enter a state of soul realization, then you will find, my dear friends, that the mind and the body, both of them slowly wither away, and you are left as a pure soul in a state of complete liberation, in a state of complete freedom. And this is the purpose of yoga, this is the purpose of Sankhya Darshan, because now sorrow has completely gone away. So dear friends, that was about the causes of sorrow, and in short how Sankhya handles it and how Patanjali begins to handle it. I'm sure you have got the gist of it, and with this, with certain practice, you will be able to achieve permanent happiness in your life. The goal of our talks is to ensure that you have permanent happiness in your life and you are able to share that with your family members, with members of your society, with people of your country, and with people of our world at large. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and listening to this talk. I'm sure by practicing together, we will be able to heal this world. We will be able to leave a planet which is happy, and our coming generations will be benefiting from a happy planet which we leave back for them. Thank you so much. God bless each one of you. See you again tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.